Hello YouTube, welcome back to my channel, and in this video I'll be discussing the battery performance on the Samsung Galaxy S6 Edge. Now those of you who are looking to buy this phone, I'm sure you're very keen to know how the phone performs. You must have gone through countless amount of YouTube videos and you must have read a lot of reviews online, and I'm sure most of you, if not all of you, are pretty confused about how the battery life on the phone is. Some reviews are saying it's good, some reviews are saying it's bad. And now to find out the actual real performance of the battery in real life, from normal day-to-day use, you have come to the right video. This is the video which will give you the exact amount of screen on times, the way the phone has been used, and the way it's been performed in the battery in the last few weeks ever since I've had the phone. Now those of you who follow me, you know my style. When I do battery videos, I always make sure I take screenshots of every single data that I collect on every day. If I'm charging the phone a few times, you'll probably see that. If I'm recording the screen on times, I'll make sure that I take screenshots so that I can show you guys the evidence. And those of you who do follow me, they know my style already, so I don't have to say much anymore. Okay, so without wasting any more time, let's quickly get into this, and let's first of all get into gallery. And I've been collecting various screenshots over the last couple of weeks. So first of all, let's get into the very first one. When I got the phone out of the box, I gave it a full charge. It charged really quickly, and then I started using my Wi-Fi, installed my apps and stuff. I actually made sure that the phone was in the exact state as was my previous phone, the HTC One M8, which I still got. Anyway, so I started using the phone the very first day. As you can see, the Wi-Fi was on, and when the battery went down to 47% after making a few phone calls, installing a few apps, and the screen on time after 3 hours and 26 minutes of usage on the phone was 2 hours and 47 minutes. Now, for a lot of people, this is shocking, because most of the reviews that you've seen on YouTube and online, they're pretty much saying that the phone doesn't give you more than 3 hours. Well, that's kind of true in a way. As long as you're using 3G, 4G, yes, that's true. But if you're using Wi-Fi, the results dramatically change for the battery on the S6 Edge. I was in fact pretty shocked myself then how the S6 Edge was able to sustain the battery with a Quad HD screen and was able to give me 2 hours and 47 minutes after the battery getting down to 47% and total use time of 3 hours and 26 minutes. Most of the screenshots that you will see, I'm using the phone pretty aggressively. I've been very aggressive with the phone, so I wanted to test the phone to the limit and see and make sure that I get the best possible stats for you guys in the worst possible use a power user can use the phone. Anyways, so 3 hours and 26 minutes, and I had 2 hours and 47 minutes of screen on time with battery down to 47%. I kept on carrying on further down, and after 3 hours and 40 minutes, the screen on time, once the battery went down to 44%, was 3 hours and 1 minute. So that was again very impressive. As you can see, the screen is taking about 20%. In all my screenshots and all my usages ever since I've had the phone with me, I normally tend to keep the brightness around 50 to 60%. If you do any higher, the battery will drain quicker, and also it's a Quad HD screen, so it really gets into your eyes. It's very bright, and it's got beautiful colors which really pop out. But if you put the brightness too high, it will drain the battery, number one, and number two, it's not good for your eyes as well. So in all my screenshots and all my usage ever since I've had the phone, the brightness has been kept around 50 to 60%. Okay, further down, I let it go all the way, push it to the limit. As you can see in here, the battery went down to 4% before it gave me the sign to say please charge your phone. By then I had a total usage of 6 hours and 46 minutes, and my screen on time had gone up to 5 hours and 11 minutes. Now this is something which you probably won't see much, because most people who've reviewed the S6 Edge or the S6 on YouTube or online, they've mostly been talking about 3G and 4G usage. So if you may be using 3G, 4G, your battery will obviously not perform as good as you can see in here. But if you use it on Wi-Fi, then be rest assured that you are definitely looking at around 4.5 to 5 hours of screen on time on the Galaxy S6 Edge. By the way, the S6 Edge has a 2600 mAh battery, which is 50 mAh more than the S6, but it hardly makes a difference because they're pretty much, to me, as far as I'm concerned, the same anyway. Okay, so the next day, I kept on going on further down to 1%, just about before the battery was about to die, and my total screen on time after using the phone for 6 hours and 55 minutes. This is the total heavy time that I got out of the phone. I was with the phone playing non-stop, as you can see on the graph as well, and after using it for almost 7 hours, I got a total of screen on time of 5 hours and 21 minutes. So that's pretty good going for a phone which has a Quad HD screen along with only a 2600 milliampere battery, which is even 200 milliampere less than last year's flagship, the Galaxy S5. So keeping that in mind, a small battery, a very powerful screen, I think Samsung have done a very good job as far as the Wi-Fi performance is concerned. All this time, as you can see, the Bluetooth was on as well. So I had my Moto 360, my Android smartwatch. It was also connected to my Samsung Galaxy S6 all these 2 weeks. So the phone was actually was being used heavily. The smartwatch was connected, Wi-Fi was on, and I was constantly browsing the internet, checking my emails, tweeting different tweets, and writing bits and bobs, the normal stuff, Facebook, this, that. I was doing everything, and after using it aggressively, as you can see, it gave me a screen on time of 5 hours and 21 minutes. Okay, further down again, I charged the phone fully again, and I think from here I can see I didn't use it much. It was left idle, and this was without any power saver mode. So what I done was that I charged I charged the battery full up to 100%, and I left it before I went to bed. And after approximately 10 hours, as you can see, it lost almost 4%. 8 hours and 4 minutes time on. That was the total time it was left after charging the phone. So I got the battery went down to 4%. So if you don't turn the power saver mode on or the ultra power saver mode on, the battery will deplete quicker. But then again, 8 to 9 hours and you have only 4% battery down from 100%, I think is still above average and not too bad. So the standby times are fairly decent. Okay, whilst I was doing this, I also found out that in the Play Store, if you go on My Apps, you will find the Samsung Push service. If you install this, this will also improve the performance and the battery of your phone. I actually read it somewhere on one of the forums and somebody mentioned it, and I quickly went there and I updated it, and it did make a difference. So if you see that Samsung Push service in your Galaxy S6 or the S6 Edge, please make sure you update it, and this will definitely improve the overall performance of your phone. Okay, so after doing you can only update it because it's an inbuilt thing and you can't uninstall it. So once you've done it, it will go somewhere in the back end of the code, and it will make sure that your phone is actually working perfectly fine. And it says this patch applies for reduced data usage and power consumption. So, and I'm sure Samsung must have done some sort of power changes at the back end so that people were getting better battery life than before. I did find a bit of change in performance. It was much better, much smoother, and the battery life did improve a bit as well, if not much. Okay, so again, the next day I've charged the phone fully once more and let it down. I let it go down to 50%, and after using about 10 hours and 53 minutes, I got a total screen on time of yet again 2 hours and 34 minutes. Now, from this you can guess if I was able to get about 2.5 hours of screen on time with 50%, so the next 50% would have also given me another 2.5 hours, which again means 5 hours. So after seeing a few screenshots, you can have a rough estimate guess already that if you keep the screen around say 50 to 60% brightness, and if you're on your Wi-Fi only, not 3G or 4G, then this phone is well capable of giving you 5 hours of screen on time. And once it goes below 10%, you can even go further beyond 5 hours screen on time as well. So on Wi-Fi, the performance of the phone is really good. It's well capable of giving you over 5 hours of screen on time as long as you're on Wi-Fi. Again, as you can see, 50%, 3 hours again, not bad at all. 50% again, 3 hours and 47 minutes. And I was able to get, I think I probably missed this one. Or maybe this one was related to that one again. Yeah, 50% and 3 hours of screen on time. So in extreme cases, if you're not tapping too much, say if you're not WhatsApping too much, if you're not typing too much, you're just browsing only, giving a few taps every time you read an article on Chrome browser or on an app, that will even consume the battery even far less. So it's also capable of giving you 3 hours on 50%, which is again not too bad. And keeping in mind that my Moto 360, like I keep on mentioning, was connected to the phone most of the times, if not all the time. So the phone was pretty much active all day long. Okay, further down again, at 3 hours and 47 minutes, 50%. I think that was linked to the previous one. So this here again, 4 hours and 50 minutes, 34% the battery went down to, and yet again we had almost 4 hours of screen on time, which is again very good. So as you can see from the few screenshots on Wi-Fi already, that the battery doesn't deplete as fast as it would on 3G or 4G, which I will show you later in the video as we go along. So but be rest assured that as long as you're on your Wi-Fi and you have the brightness around say 50 to 60%, the phone is well capable of giving you over 4 to 5 hours of screen on time. Okay, this was the comparison. As you can see, the rating on the GSM Arena between the S6 Edge and the HTC One M9. M9 unfortunately has been a disappointment for most of us, and they have not been able to put a good battery life despite of having a bigger battery. They have not been able to provide better battery than the S6 Edge. I think kudos to Samsung for doing a very good job on battery. Okay, here again I let the phone went down all the way to 10%, and after 14 hours and 5 minutes I was able to get 5 hours and 10 minutes of screen on time. Yet again, as, the phone proves that if you stay on Wi-Fi and if you keep the brightness around say 50 to 60%, the chances are that you will get 5 hours easily and a few minutes even more on top. Again, it went down to, I think the previous one was 10%. Yeah, this was a different one. I was using the phone again aggressively for 4 hours and 28 minutes. As you can see, there was this airplane mode on top. Now this was I was in an area where the signals were weak, so every time I'm in an area where there's no signal or signal is weak, I tend to leave on airplane mode. Those of you who don't know, if you leave your phone in an area of weak signal where it's constantly struggling to pick the signal up, it will drain the battery more down. Reasons I can probably explain it later. If you don't know, please ask me in the comment section and I will tell you why did I put it on airplane mode and how does the phone drain more if it's in a weak area signal. Okay, our 4 hours and 28 minutes, I was able to get 2 hours and 6 minutes. I think here, if I remember correctly, because of the drain, I put the airplane mode on quite late, and also I did use it for 3G or a bit of 4G as well, I think, and the screen on time was 2 hours and 6 minutes after 39% of battery left. I was using, as you can see, WhatsApp. I took a few screenshots, but I've done a bit of browsing as well and a bit of commuting to work, and I think on my way to work I had 4G on, so that's why the screen on times have gone considerably down. I kept on using the phone further and the Wi-Fi was on its time, so after 5 hours and 21 minutes I was able to get 2 hours and 52 minutes. Like I said, if you're not going to switch the airplane mode on, the battery will deplete quicker, and this is not with the S6 Edge, this is with any phone. If your phone is in a weak signal area or there are no signals, make sure you turn the airplane mode on. Otherwise, the phone tries to communicate with the tower constantly, and it puts strain on the battery, and the battery will eventually deplete at a quicker rate. Okay, then again here I was using 4G and went down to 37%, and after 6 hours and 32 minutes the screen on time was 2 hours and 1 minute. As you can see already, there is a considerable difference when you use 4G and when you use Wi-Fi. If I had the Wi-Fi, as you see from my previous screenshots, at around 37%, I should have had well over 3 to 3.5 hours of screen on time, whereas on 4G the screen on time has considerably reduced to 2 hours and 1 minute. So this is something which I don't like, and I think a lot of you are gonna be put off that as well. So if you're gonna be using the phone for 4G, you're going to be out and about using a lot of 4G, then you're not going to get the kind of screen time that you just saw on Wi-Fi, that is around 4.5 to 5 or maybe more. With 3G and 4G, you're looking at around maybe 3 hours or 3.5 hours. If you're lucky, probably maybe 4 hours, but not more than that. Again, 4G 33%, 2 hours and 14 minutes again time on. Go further down, I kept this was 84%. I think I was on Wi-Fi here. After 1 hour and 28 minutes, I was able to get 1 hour and 3 minutes here. The reason I've taken this screenshot is because, just to give you a quick overview, that whilst I was on 4G for 2 days, it was giving me around 2.5 hours of screen on time with 33% battery left. But I decided to switch on the Wi-Fi one day, and I thought I'll give you guys a quick see what the difference is. And you can see with 16% of battery life lost and the battery down to 84%, and in 1 hour and 28 minutes of usage with a screen around 50 to 60%, the screen on time was 1 hour and 3 minutes. Now at this rate, if I would have gone any further, I would have given you same as I've shown you before, which was 5 hours and maybe more few minutes. So as you can see from here very, very clearly that if you use on Wi-Fi, you're gonna get good screen on time. If you use it on 3G, like here you can see HDPA plus or 4G, it will not give you as much. Here again you can see I was on 3G and 4G, and after using the phone for 6 hours and 15 minutes, the screen on time was 2 hours and 7 minutes. So not too good, I would say, but just above the average. There are phones worse than that. For example, the LG G3, it gives even worse timing when it comes to 3G and 4G. Here again, 85%, 1 hour and 40 minutes, and I was able to get 53 minutes of screen on time. Again, Wi-Fi performance is considerably more than the 3G performance. Again here, 2 hours and 12 minutes on Wi-Fi, and I was able to get 1 hour and 5 minutes, which is not too bad again. Let's keep on going further down. 67%, there was no signal, no 3G, no Wi-Fi. So after 3 hours and 25 minutes, the total screen on time was around 1 hour and 32 minutes. Here I was watching a video which I had downloaded from one of my apps, and I was watching that video, and even the video timing is not bad on the battery as well. It's pretty decent, not too bad actually, but it's just the 3G and the 4G where the phone takes the most hit and the battery goes down really quickly. Here again, 15% 4G, and the phone was also connected to my Moto 360 smartwatch, and after using it for 8 hours and 40 minutes, I was only able to get 3 hours and 18 minutes. As like I said, on 3G and 4G, you're not going to get much. You're looking at around 3 to 3.5 hours of screen on time before the battery dies. So the difference between Wi-Fi and 4G is considerable. You're losing almost 1.5 hour of screen on time if you go on 4G. I'm sure in future updates, Samsung will probably improve this, because this is too much of a difference. It shouldn't be more than 45 minutes or maybe an hour max, but not this much. But still, if you use the phone moderately, your screen on time is around 3 hours. The chances are that it will last you a day. But if you start using WhatsApp, Facebook, checking email non-stop, you got your watch connected, listen to music, browsing the internet, the chances are around mid-afternoon you will have to probably charge the phone once again. Okay, here again down to 4%. I stretch it to the limit, as you can see in the video, on 4G still with my Moto G connected, my Moto 360 connected, and after 8 hours and 41 minutes I was able to get a total screen on time of 3 hours and 44 minutes, which is not too bad. But like I said, between 3.5 to 4 hours max, that's what you're gonna get. But on average, if you're gonna be typing more on the screen, because every time you touch the screen, the battery loses charge. So the more you type, the more you interact on 4G, the chances are you're gonna get around 3 to 3.5 hours screen on time. If you're a bit light on air, say browsing the internet, just touching a few apps to read some articles, the chances are you probably get somewhere close to 4 hours, if not fully 4 hours. Further down again, okay, and here I think if I remember correctly, I left the device idle again. I think it was on power saver mode just today, I think, if I remember, maybe. No, it wasn't today, it was some other day. Anyways, after 10 hours I left it on standby, and I again lost 3% after 7 hours and 20, after 4 hours and 16 minutes of leaving the phone on standby, it lost 3%. So if you leave the phone on standby, it's probably going to deplete just like any average smartphone. Okay, here again, 54% 4G, as you can see, 7 hours and 28 minutes after using it, and the screen on time was 1 hour and 50 minutes, which is not too bad. This is again going towards the 3.5 mark, as you can see from here already. Again, went down to 11%. I was in a weak area signal again, Wi-Fi on, Bluetooth on, and I was able to get 3 hours and 45 minutes of screen on time. This was a mixed use of Wi-Fi, 3G and 4G both. Here again, 50% Wi-Fi after using for 4 hours and 27 minutes. Again, you can see the performance difference straight away. You're getting close to 3 hours after 50% of battery. So which is again goes to show that as long as you are on Wi-Fi, you will have a very good screen on time on the Samsung Galaxy S6 Edge, and I'm sure for the S6 as well. Again, 5 hours and 47 minutes, down to 29%, and I was able to get 4 hours and 7 minutes. This was again Wi-Fi. That's why the screen on times are really, really good. Same here again, would stretch it to the limit, 6%, as you can see, 7 hours and 52 minutes, and the total screen on time was 5.5 hours. Now this was the highest I got so far on the phone, which is not too bad. 5.5 hours of screen on time this phone is capable, as long as you don't use it too aggressively. You're on your Wi-Fi, chances are it will last you a long time. Here, now this is important, this was the ultra power saving mode, which I'm sure most of you know from the Galaxy S5 anyway. So once you put this on, I left it, you can see, at 1:40 in the morning, and I switched it on and I left it alone. And then when I got up at 9:48 in the morning, as you can see, it had not lost even 1%. So the ultra power saving mode is really good. Even after using it for 8 to 9 leaving it for 8-9 hours, still the phone didn't even lose 1%, which was very good indeed. Again here 50%, 12 hours and 8 minutes on Wi-Fi. Good screen on time again, 3 hours and 11 minutes, which is not too bad at all. So guys, you can see that you can have an idea of what's going on here. With 3G and 4G, the battery isn't as good, but on Wi-Fi it's really good. Sorry, this is the LG G4, which I'll also be buying very soon and putting on the channel. Here again 46% on Wi-Fi, and I was able to get decent. Now this is here the power saver mode, the normal power saver mode, which I had to put in last night. And when I got up, I went to bed about 11 o'clock, as you can see on the top left corner, and when I got up in the morning, it had, I think, yeah, it had lost 4%. Even on a normal power saver mode, it will still lose 4%. So a normal power saver mode doesn't really stop the battery from bleeding. Even if you haven't got it on, you leave the phone as it is, it will still it will still deplete at the same rate as it would without the power saver mode. It's only the ultra power saver mode which will help you save your battery. Otherwise, with the normal power saver, it doesn't make much of a difference. So guys, this was a quick overview of what the battery life on the Samsung Galaxy S6 Edge is. If you like my video, please give it a thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed, please do so. And if you've got any questions, please feel free to ask them in the comment section. Any questions on the battery or anything else, please feel free to ask me, and I will try my best to help you guys if I can. There will be more videos coming up for the Z3 Lollipop and much more to come. Please stay tuned, and I will see you guys in the next video.